Well, look at this, an opportunity to actually use the Deep Rock specific video background, because it's it's that once in a blue moon time that we get a Deep Rock Galactic patch. Oh my god. So as usual, of course, if you somehow living under a rock, Deep Rock is not getting focused development attention from Ghost Ship at the moment. They are working on Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core, of course, but does not mean there won't be occasional patches for Deep Rock, as there have been, because they also still do all the holiday events, and this means whether they like it or not, they do have to look at Deep Rock in some small capacity from time to time. And I think this patch is definitely the result of even though it's got a bit of a modding focus to it, it's definitely the result of them finding, like, realizing a certain very strange problem with the game that we'll get into. Not a game-breaking problem, but definitely a problem. It's definitely a strange thing that's been in the game for a while. So let's just get into it. So this is Season 5, Patch 10. Hello miners, we've made some changes to how modding behaves in DRG, as well as updating the mod.io API. We have moved modding from the menu in the space rig to the start of the game on the info screen. The idea behind this was to reduce potential errors that could happen because of hot loading mods. Don't know what that means really. We've kept the modding menu in the space rig, but as view only, so players can see what mods they have active, but no changes can be made in this menu except loading back to the info screen, which is kind of weird, but if it's necessary, then it's necessary. Since the mod.io API has been updated, we now also have an in-game mod browser, as well as the option to use your preferred browser. The API update should also have several years of fixes for the plugin. Oh. I guess it's a separate API update kind of thing that can't really cover here. Also, we don't cover DRG modding anyway, so that's fine. Anyway, so the actual patch notes. Updated modding behavior. Very generic. Added missing hit reactions on enemies. So this is actually the main one. Also, fixed glyphid forelegs not being blown off when killed by explosions. I think these two are the big things. They realised that a lot of, I don't think it's all, but I think a lot of hit reactions were missing. I don't know if I've noticed this or not, because I'm thinking about, like, even grunts, for example, have apparently, by the way, this is an issue since Season 4. I can't say I haven't noticed that the grunts, like, flinch or not. I feel like they do, so maybe it's not grunts, but it could still, I think it is still going to be a lot of enemies. So I don't really know what that looks like in game. I will just have to play and see if I notice a difference. But it's still interesting that these things can kind of just get just overshadowed by just larger ambition, basically, both of updates and of games. I feel like, things like Season 5 and then obviously Rogue, or more specifically, can definitely create, I think they do create a certain level of oversight of these smaller but broader issues that shouldn't slip through the cracks but somehow do. And there've been a couple of these in the most recent Deep Rock patches, using the term recent there a little bit loosely, but still, I think you can spy similar changes in recent patches. Anyway, they also increased the visibility of unknown horror when in medium and low effect quality. Probably a good thing. I'm not sure what that was really like. If it was, like, genuinely hard to see the thing, if you were playing on a lower, basically just a lower preset. I don't know. Added content for upcoming events. So this is what they do very often with patches. They add basically in the space redecorations and the in-game. Actually, it's usually the decoration. I assume it's the decorations and the hat that they add for the holiday event, because those are the things that are unique. Obviously, the decorations are always very similar, but they are always changed somewhat. They're always, like, replaced, basically. They sort of redecorate the space each time. I don't think, like, the cave events would have to be re-implemented. I assume that those are in the game, but it's the other stuff that they had. So I would assume this is at least for the summer event and Oktoberfest, I would say, at least, given that it's multiple events. Also, updated game credits with latest translators. Oh, that's nice. Translators are very important. I believe they do all their work voluntarily anyway, so it's definitely something they should be credited for in game, at least. So that is good. I do want to briefly, actually, it probably wouldn't be this patch. I said this doesn't even look like the one that I would. Yeah, that's not. Actually, I may have, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna check something. Yeah, so I can tell you right now that I did not cover patch number 9, and that's because it's one line. So let's do it right now. Season 10, patch 9. Season 10? Holy shit. Season 5, patch number 9. Small one today, well, technically yesterday, minus. We received the message that the Skullcrusher armor needed fixing. Fix some cloth material that would not use the correct paint job when using the Skullcrusher framework. Armor framework, by the way. Great. But I was thinking of a larger example, which was the previous patch, which is where they finally, they've fixed the fact that Egg Hunt was not using most of its cave variations. So that's a more similar thing to what I was talking about with the hit reactions. Anyway, so those are season 5 patches 9 and 10. Obviously, this is probably the only stuff we can get really on Deep Rock for a while. At the same time, if you're very good at compartmentalizing, I think we will hear about like upcoming actual Deep Rock content pretty early in like the new year. So if you're able to like put that aside and like just not think about it, once we get to the new year, be like, oh, we're probably going to hear about the actual Deep Rock stuff soon, and that can actually be quite exciting. I'm good at doing that kind of thing, just usually quite subconsciously. The point is, it's cool that they are still able to patch Deep Rock or able to bring themselves to, but it still bears reiterating. It's not where the focus is. Focus on Rogue Core. I'm kind of in the middle of watching like the dev stream that they were doing today. So I'm not watching it live. But it's sort of the third update to the Rogue Core Closed Alpha, and I mean, it looks so satisfying to play. Just everything about it. They're really just going all in on sort of these really big, impressive, cool 3D assets with the animations, and just really upping the variety as well and complexity of upgrades and whatnot. It just all looks really satisfying and much more of a fully formed game than I think a lot of people were expecting. I think it's gonna be something really incredible actually. So, and that is I wish I was being paid to say that because I'm saying it regardless. But if Ghost Ship did want to pay me, I would happily take their money. Anyway, that's all for today. If you enjoyed this, I found it useful, then please make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to stay on top of everything to do Deep Rock and Rogue Core and see more stuff like this, then also make sure to click that bell. And I will see you as usual on Tuesday. Bye bye.